When you think of America, you know, I mean, what's our major contribution to the world? It's jazz.
I think that the city's main cultural asset is its music and its heritage. It has an indigenous culture that was very rare in an American city, and I think that it's rooted in the music, you know.
I guess, you know, the history of Jazz Fest as part of the jam band scene actually goes back way before the festival, in that, you know, there's a lot of the roots of the jam band scene, whether it's jazz or R&B or Zydeco even. I remember doing an interview with Mickey Hart once, and he was talking about how what the Meters were doing in New Orleans was the same as what the Grateful Dead were doing in San Francisco.
Welcome to New Orleans Jazz Fest.
People from all over the world to play here, and people come from all over the world to listen to them.
Oh, man, it just gives you a true taste of New Orleans, man. Different foods, different music, different people. It's like a gumbo. Forget about work. Just come and have a great time here at the Jazz Fest.
We're ready. We're ready.
To me, Jazz Fest is always something special, and it's a little bit different than any other fest that we've been to.
People love the hell out of us wherever we go.
I've been all around the United States, and I don't think there's any scene that's quite as good-natured and also just rich in tradition.
Jazz Fest is like, well, you know, that's our hometown, you know, so people come from all over the world just to see us at that festival, and the locals come to see us at that festival as well.
It's funky down here.
Each year for the last 10 years during Jazz Fest, we put on shows that sort of coincided with the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Festival. You know, sort of night shows are kind of geared towards, you know, the band's core audiences, you know, some of the sort of different bands that are out there. Instead of, you know, playing at a bigger show, this is sort of a smaller way for them to sort of, you know, have additional performance, or have bands come into town that don't really fit in at the fairgrounds, or that didn't get an opportunity to play at the fairgrounds.
It's almost like a thing unto itself, because it's so many people are there for the fairgrounds, so it's almost like Mardi Gras or New Year's Eve or something like that every night. But the people are there solely to see the music.
You know, you've got Leo Nocentelli and Russell Batiste and Skerrick, and you know, all these guys are on stage. You're not going to see that in your hometown.
It only lasts for 2 weeks. So for that whole 2 weeks, you don't sleep because you're going to miss something, trust me. One year I did miss a lot. I said I'll never miss anything again, you know.
Hurricane Katrina can churn in the Gulf of Mexico this afternoon. Winds are now 115 miles an hour, and the storm is expected to get even stronger.
As anybody remaining in Jefferson Parish needs to evacuate and be prepared to be gone for a month.
The wind is just starting to pick up.
A catastrophic hurricane.
Heard something brand new from Mr. James Andrews and friends. It calls their tune Katrina, Katrina.
We lost everything in Katrina. We restarted from scratch. So I keep thinking that Red Cross and FEMA are going to come in one day and go, you know, you've done a good job, and now we're here and we're going to take over. But so far, that hasn't happened.
The Musicians Clinic plays an important role in their lives because, as you know, music is a very important component of the engine that drives tourism, that is responsible for a lot of the revenue that supports the city services and supports New Orleans. And if we don't address the health care of the musicians, who are primarily responsible for bringing in those tourist dollars that support the city of New Orleans, well, we're going to kill the goose that laid the golden egg. And we don't want to do that.
New Orleans without music wouldn't be New Orleans, you know?
This is the birthplace of American music, and jazz is the only indigenous art form the United States has, and yet all the great artists die of things that could have been prevented, treated, and isn't it a shame that this is not treated with more respect, and these musicians are not cared for.
This town is like no other, and that's still happening for the musicians. Like there's still this incredible connection with the musicians and playing and stuff. I guess, you know, the audience is, you know, not having the same venues makes a big difference.
I mean, the main thing is that some of the venues that we traditionally use are no longer in operation. So, like the Sanger Theater, the Orpheum, Twiropa, you know, those venues were really not usable this year.
Yeah, it's different, but it seems like people sort of, especially down here, it sort of seems like there's just been this resurgence of appreciation.
I played more gigs last year than I did the year before Katrina, so, you know, it still feels like it's going, you know, it's healthy.
You know, we've embraced that, and it seems like the people coming in town for Fest have embraced that too.
It's important for kids to also have one foot in the roots of where a lot of this stuff is coming from, you know, and there's less exposure to that now.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the 8th annual Instruments a Comin' here, sponsored by the Tipitinas Foundation, the Roots of Music.
It all started as an outgrowth of the legendary music club, Tipitinas, which we thought that it might be a natural fit for us to start raising money to provide band instruments for Orleans Parish Public Schools.
Once they get a chance to be able to understand it, then it becomes one with themselves and their souls. And once that happens, that connection that they have with the music and the experiences they have had in their lives, it becomes something that's special to them.
Well, New Orleans music is always going to be intact. I mean, you have younger generations of musicians that's coming up. The music is not going to suffer. The music is not going nowhere.
Everybody from New Orleans, we're some resilient people. We like to keep it going. We fight no matter what.